What's up, my brother? Welcome to Trust Me, Bro. How are you doing tonight?
My brother, I am doing good. How about yourself?
Man, I can't complain. Life is what it is, man. We're going to roll through the punches. We're going to get through every day that we have on this great earth that God created for us.
That's exactly right, my brother. I love the attitude. Bring it hard. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Um, we've got some things that we can be upset about.
Yep.
We can be ready to turn out our Cowboy cards and
Right.
throw them on the table until Jerry Jones is gone. But hey, you know what? That's all right.
Yeah,
We still got fantasy football.
that's right.
Still love watching the sport. So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And I think that's what's made, these past, let me think how many years it's been. I guess 2006 is when we started playing fantasy football, right? So here we are in the year 2024. So it's been 18 years that we've been
yep,
getting by. We've branched out beyond the Cowboys, and
right,
we have fantasy football teams that obviously don't include all Cowboys. If we did, we'd have a terrible season. So I think you and I have had a really good exposure to the rest of the league over the past
yep,
18 years. And I think that, fantasy football has made the NFL an enjoyable experience for both of us.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
100% agree.
yep, we're enjoying the sport. We of course root for the Cowboys, and it's been a tale of woe and grief, but we have the rest of the NFL to cheer us up, and the players that we select for our fantasy teams to root on, and so we make the best of what we got.
Yep,
So
100%, brother. 100%. How'd you
yep,
do this week?
man. I play in 5 leagues, and
Yep.
so I won 2 of them.
Yeah.
Exactly 2. So 2 out of 5, and I ended up playing Stosh Boyle, our former mayor, in 3 out of 5 leagues, and so ended up beating him 2 out of 3. So
Okay.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah. There you go. It
How
was a
about you,
couple of your
brother?
wins. I went 1-3, man. I was
Yep.
clinging on to the side of the ship, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, Tracy had a great game, and
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh defense had a great game. So I only had like 40 points to give, and
Yeah.
ended up getting overtaken, man. But that's the way it goes.
Okay. So you were playing against Tracy and the Pittsburgh D, right?
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
wow. Okay. And Tracy scored 31 points in the league that I have him in, that I started him in, and so yeah. Wow. Okay. So that was
Yeah.
basically an unrealistic situation or probability that came to pass, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Yep.
also had neighbors, so it just
Wow. Okay.
I didn't have a whole lot of room to give. I was pulling for that Pittsburgh dude, but it
Yeah.
is what it is, man. It is
Yep.
what it is.
Okay.
Still about even in most leagues, and one I'm 7-1 in. So
Hmm.
we'll keep pushing on.
Yeah, you went 4-4, if I remember correctly, in the past 2 weeks that we talked. I know last week you had an excused absence because you were partying
Nola. Yep.
on Bourbon Street in NOLA.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
In the dirty, the big
Mhm.
easy, whatever you want to call it. You were
Yep.
enjoying yourself last Monday night, so luckily we were able to find a fill-in.
Yeah.
Luckily, Marcus
Appreciate you doing that
Mattingly's,
for me.
yes, sir. Yeah, he's always ready to help when he can, and so
Yeah.
that's, I think, the second time that Marcus has been a fill-in for us.
Yep.
In our 2+ seasons. So I know we're on
Solid.
season 3 right
Solid
now. So
fill in, man. Yep.
yep,
Really, that was
absolutely.
good. I didn't get a chance to watch much football but last Monday night, so
Yeah.
good to have him fill in, man. But I am back. I'm back, and
Hmm.
I'm ready to hit that freaking waiver wire. I'm going to hit it
All
hard,
right.
man. We got some
Yeah.
injuries. We got some buys. It's time to go.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. Last week was actually a really good week for the waiver wire. I think I actually put in, like, I used to save my number one waiver wire selection, to see if maybe, on the off chance you get that dynamite running back. But eventually, I eventually just had to spend them, and so like I put in waiver claims. I think like at least 2 or 3 waiver claims every single league that I'm playing, and I ended up cashing on a lot of them. I mean, it was a dynamite week for waiver wire, last week. I ended up getting a lot of good players. Oh boy, man, I can't even really remember who I grabbed. Because I play in so many leagues, but I know I was very happy with the results. I got a lot of good players, and I think I'm set up really well for the future.
Good.
I do remember, Craig, on last Wednesday morning, I got up super early, Craig. I don't know what the deal was, but I woke up before 6 o'clock, and I was laying in bed, and I was sitting here looking at the news, and I saw a report from Adam Schefter from Shefty that said DeAndre Hopkins is working on a contract, for a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. And so I happened to see the news cross the wire right there at 6 a.m. I happened to be
Yeah.
up, just staring at my phone, looking at some stuff, and I saw the news, and waiver wires had just run. So I went ahead and grabbed DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop, in 2 leagues, and I already had him in 1 league. So that makes three out of my 5 leagues. I was able to grab D-Hop, which I think will have a promising future there in Kansas City with Pat Mahomes throwing to him. So he didn't do great this week, but he's lined up for future success.
Yeah, he doesn't know the playbook yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
You out. I think it's pretty good pickup, brother.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I just happened to be up and hit it hard, before everyone else was sleeping. I happened to be up, on that morning. We had some issues go on in my city, and I don't want to get into it on Trust Me, bro, but I just happened to be up on that morning. And, yeah, it worked out great.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, listen, let's hit the waiver in the interest of time. We're already 6 minutes in. Let's talk about some quarterbacks, brother. Who you targeting this week?
Yeah, brother. Let me hop over to week 2. So I'm going to start us off with Matt Stafford. I've got 3 stars on this guy. He is 18% owned.
There you go.
Go pick him up.
Yeah.
Go pick him up. He's got his weapons back. He went 279 yards, 4 tutties this week. I expect to see him keep on rolling, man. We know Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
We know he can find his receivers. He throws the ball. Now that Puka's back. Now that Cup's back.
Yep.
It's time to go, man.
Agreed. He's got his weapons back. Yeah, he's ready to rock for the second half of the season. So yeah, great pickup, Greg. Yeah, I think he's fully armed and ready to go to war.
Right.
Yeah, great pickup, brother.
Yep. All right. Stafford stock.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I'm going to bounce down to my first guy, Kirk Cousins. I got him written down. 66% owned, so just underneath our 70% threshold. In week 8, he threw 276 passing yards and 4 touchdowns for Captain Kirk. Looking good.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking good, man. He finally got Pitts going. He hit him for a couple tutties. Hit Mooney for a tutty, and then I don't know who got his last one too, but yeah, man, he's off and rolling. That's a solid one.
Yep.
Who else you got? All right. 3 stars on Bonex. I've been calling his name for last week, but the week before I called his name. He's just one of those guys, man. He'll pick up some rushing yards, might pick up a rushing tutty. But he's starting to hit some passing touchdowns too. He's starting 6% owned. This last week he went 284, 3 touchdowns, also rushed for a touchdown, hit 38 points this week.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, he was on fire. I actually grabbed him as a fill-in, and I played him, obviously not this past weekend, but the weekend prior I played him because I was waiting on Tua to come back. Yeah. And so he was a little fill-in for me, in the league that I was planning to start Tua in. So, yeah, he was a nice bye-week fill-in while I was waiting on Tua, and, he looked good. He's definitely a promising rookie. I think he's doing great in his rookie season. He may make a case for rookie of the year. You never know.
Man, he's starting to get it. Starting to click with him. That offense is starting to come along. The defense has been carrying him through the year. Now the offense is starting to click.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple tough defenses coming up. He might have Baltimore next week.
Right.
No. Maybe. I don't know. Take a look.
Yeah.
But anyways, either way, I think he can still score points, man. He's coming on strong.
Yep. Totally agree, brother. Yeah, he's looking solid. Last guy I got is Jameis Winston, a blast from the past. Jameis obviously looks like he still got it. I saw, the post-game interview. He was quoting a little Eminem there.
I love that.
They got what does he say?
He's like, one shot.
You only get one shot. Yes. Dude, it was hilarious. Yep. So
he had his quotes ready.
Yep. So Jameis channeled his inner Eminem, and he came to play, my man. 6% owned, 334 passing yards for 3 touchdowns. Won the game for the Browns. He beat the Ravens. The unthinkable happened right there. So yeah, we'll see if that's a sign of things to come.
Yeah, man. I mean, as bad as it is, Browns fans were cheering when Deshaun Watson got hurt. That sucks.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
But Jameis is ready to take this offense, man. That offense was just stuttering. They were terrible. So
stuck in
Deshaun
the
Watson
mud.
out of there, stuck in the mud. We see what wins to do, man. I remember that year a couple of years ago when I rode him when he was at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And he threw a lot of interceptions, but man, he threw touchdowns and balls, and I mean, he was racking up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns every game.
Right. Yeah. He's a lot like Fitzmagic. You know what I mean? Like he'll throw right, a ton of touchdowns, a ton of INTs, but he's not afraid to air it out. So yeah, for fantasy, good quarterback. Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah,
let her rip. I love it.
Yep, that's right. All right, well, let's bounce on over to running backs, my man. Who you got?
Yeah, so first one I've got is Alexander Madison. I think you pulled him up last week when I was out. I got 2 stars on him. 54% on running backs are tough right now, man. It's just it's a hard waiver wire grab right now for a running back. He only rushed for 15 yards, but he caught 5 passes for another 29 yards. He's consistently around that 10-point range. So if you need to fill in, if you're in a pinch, man, I was in a pinch that and I had to take up Algier, and he got me 3 points. Thanks, asshole. I would love to have Madison out there. So
I thought about Algier this week.
Every time I watch the Raiders, Madison's out there. Zamir White's nowhere to be found. He might be in the stands for all I know, but Madison's out there. So it's a matter of time before he breaks and busts again. I only have 2 stars on him. I probably could just have 1 star on him, but I think you can do worse. You can do better. You can do worse. You can do better. He's a guy.
Yeah, totally, man. It looks like their lead running back, Zamir White. Yeah, he's just not, he's not doing what he did at the end of last season. The end of last season, Zamir White was solid as a fill-in for, I don't know, the guy that's in Green Bay right now. I forget his name, but Josh Jacobs. There you go. So Josh Jacobs was out at the end of last year. Zamir White filled in admirably, and he took a lot of people, far in the fantasy football playoffs last season. He was a pretty solid guy, and a lot of people had high hopes for him, but he's just not getting it done. And it seems like Alexander Madison is kind of, stolen the show there, or at least taken a substantial amount of those touches, and he's doing what he can with it. So, not bad for a Raider. So, okay, very good.
Raider, I love it.
Yep. All right, so I brought Bucky Irving back to the table. I know we talked about him a few times, but he's still underneath our 70% threshold. On the Yahoo side, he's 69% owned. Bucky Irving in week 9, or week 8, I think it was, but he got through week 8. He had 9 carries for 44 yards. He caught 7 grabs on 7 targets for 40 yards. And so he had a pretty admirable showing. I think he was in like the 15 fantasy point range. Bucky Irving looks really good. And I know that White came back the game, not yesterday, not Sunday, but the previous week, and it looked fantastic. So I mean, obviously it's still a sure backfield, but he looks good. He came to the table hungry. He's ready to eat, and you hand him the rock, and he's going to do some good things with it. So he's a solid fantasy player. I've got him in one of my leagues. He's sitting on my bench in one of my leagues, but I've got him out there and ready to plug in if I need him.
Yeah, I agree, man. With Godwin out for the season, Mike Evans out for a handful of games, and it needs to be the rock. And
that's true.
I think Bucky fills in. Rashad White's going to take some of those catches, but it's definitely there for him to score some points. And it's all it takes, man. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, he'll have his good weeks when he plays Carolina, stuff like that. He's gonna do good. There will be those opportunities for him.
Yeah. Well, I am throwing. I don't know if you caught that. I'm sure you did. The Washington Hail Mary.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw it live. Fantastic. Okay.
Jonathan Brooks is 59% owned. I got 2 stars on him. We don't know what we got. He plays in Carolina, who I don't know if they could do worse. And but kind of what I'm thinking is Andy Dalton gets healthy, recovers from a thumb injury.
Yeah.
Brooks joins him and comes out for his debut. So he's got a little bit of time. I don't think he's starting ready. He's not been looking good. Don't get me wrong, but anybody with Young right now is just not looking good. So you get Red Rifle back in there. And Brooks, you pair those two. You might have a decent offense, a little better than what you've seen lately. So.
Yeah, totally, brother. I've been hanging on to him in one of my leagues, actually my work league. I've had him, and he's been sitting in the IR slot, just kind of hanging out, waiting for me. Unfortunately, we only got one IR slot in that league, and so I've been kind of moving guys in and out of it, based upon different injury statuses of other guys on that team. But yeah, I've had him sitting there, in the stable, ready to unleash him and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I got high hopes for him. UT, Texas guy.
Yeah.
So I got high hopes for him, just like you do. So I hope he ends up doing good in the NFL. We'll see. But yeah, 59% on for Brooks. We'll see.
He could be one of those late season guys. Like there's obviously a lot of people still hanging on to him. More than half the league is still hanging on to these guys. But he could come on strong and be one of those guys that carries you through the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see. We may get a look at him in week 9. We'll to be determined, my man, as far as how that works out later in the season. But yeah, he's a good running back to take a chance on. All right, and so I've got I wrote down Isaac Drendo, plays for the 49ers. He's 1 star on him. He's 8% owned. In week 8, he had 14 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. And he caught 3 out of 4 targets for 17 yards. And so he looked really good when Mason went down. I know Mason went down kind of early in that game. I think in the first quarter, I believe. And Isaac looked solid. They handed him the rock, and it wasn't the first time that I've seen Isaac look solid. Not just last night against the Cowboys, but in the previous week, I believe Mason went down for a period of time, and Isaac, he looked competent. He looked pretty good. We don't know the severity of Mason's shoulder injury, and who knows if we'll ever see CMC come back and play at all this season. So if CMC isn't back, I know they got a bye coming up next week. If CMAC isn't quite ready to play football this year, and if Mason's shoulder injury is more than what we know so far, then if this guy ends up being a starter, I think he's going to do pretty good to lead the 49ers. So there's a lot of ifs and buts here. I'll tell you that. But we'll see. But hey,
I like the 1 star because I totally agree with you. It's all the ifs.
Yep.
If you have a spot on your roster, on your bench, to throw a guy like this in, it might be worth it. Because they come back from the bye and C-Mac's not ready, and Mason is more hurt than we think he is.
Right.
Play.
Yep. Yeah. So I'd say just keep an eye on the guy. Don't go burning a waiver wire priority pick.
Yep.
He'd be definitely a waiver wire leftover. Maybe not even a leftover for this week. Maybe a leftover for next week. But something to keep an eye on.
Sunday morning grab.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're on bye this week, so you definitely wouldn't be grabbing this coming Sunday, but maybe the next Sunday. So we'll see. But hey, listen, before we bounce out of running backs, I do want to talk about a guy, an honorable mention, Tyrone Tracy Jr. I know you brought his name up earlier, Craig.
Yeah.
He's only 52% owned. Tonight, he had 20 rushing attempts for 145 yards, a rushing touchdown. 2 receptions for 5 yards. And I think that's it. Yeah. So fantastic, man. He scored 31 fantasy points in one of my leagues. So I actually did play him tonight. And it was in a losing effort. I was already down by a tremendous amount of points. Like even with his 31 points, that didn't do enough to get me across the finish line. But man, a great effort. I had played him. I think even last, I don't know. Anyway, I played him on that exact same team for the past 3 weeks, and he paid dividends for me. I guess 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, last week not so much, but tonight, man, fantastic. So Tyrone Tracy Jr. Plays for the Giants. He is my waiver wire winner tonight of the week. He's my waiver wire winner of the week. I've got another guy I'm going to mention in a little bit, another waiver wire winner as far as when we get to tight ends, but Tyrone Tracy Jr. for the New York Giants, waiver wire winner. He's a fantastic running back. He has stolen that job from single digit Singletary. You be warned, single digit Singletary. Tyrone Tracy Jr. has stolen your job.
Yep.
You heard it first. You heard it here first on Trust Me, Bro.
Yeah, exactly. Update the resume.
Yeah.
Single digits.
Yep.
Whatever the hell this job is.
Yep.
Running back to the Giants because
nope.
He
took your job. That's it. Outperformed. Yep.
Great call, kind of singing his name for the last 3 weeks. And, he's starting to pay off. He's definitely won the job.
Yeah. Yep. Hands down. That's it. 31 fantasy points tonight, man. Come on. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to wide receivers, my brother. Who you got?
Moving on to wide receivers. Let's pick Jameis Winston's new best friend.
Okay.
Cedric Tillman.
All right. There you go.
I did not have Cedric Tillman on my list anywhere to be found in the first 7 weeks, but I do today.
He wasn't on your draft card back in August.
He wasn't on my draft card. I mean, he wasn't even on the back of my draft card. Like, he was nowhere to be found, But I've got 3 stars on him. He's actually 16% owned. I applaud those 16% that had him.
Yeah.
But
big family. He must have a big family, a big network of friends, because they
cousins, aunts, uncles. Yeah, like
Yep. Right.
Not a huge gun. He went 7 for 99, 2 tutties, 21 targets in the last 2 weeks. Pretty solid, man. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
He's getting his looks.
For sure.
Jameson in. I mean, I think he's got a lot of upside there, man. I've got 3 stars on him. I would spend I very well might spend a waiver wire pick on him.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's looking good, because they have to fill the void for Amari Cooper by somebody, right, on the Browns, and I think a lot of us were looking at Jerry Jeudy and
he's always been a whatever.
Yeah. There you go, Cedric Tillman. So, that's the guy that Jameis is going to target, and all right. So, I think a lot of those situations work out that way, right? Where Jameis is probably playing with the B team, and that's a guy that he's developed a chemistry, a rapport
You're
with.
Right.
And, now that Jameis has the job as the quarterback, that's his guy.
Yep.
So,
very good. It really does, man. So let's go, Cedric Tillman.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Well, I wrote down Calvin Ridley. So he was pretty good, I thought. With the Jaguars last year, he was a pretty good wide receiver. I had him on at least 1, maybe 2 teams last year, and he had some up and down games. I really liked him when he did well, and so here he is playing for the Titans. He's 69% owned. So in week 8, he saw 15 targets. He caught 10 of them for 143 yards. So that's nothing to sneeze at.
No.
So is that a sign of things to come? Is he going to do that week in, week out? I don't know. Only time will tell. But, it's a standout performance. I know he's a quality wide receiver. He's paid dividends for me in the past. So I thought I'd bring him up tonight. Don't trust me, brother.
Yeah, you got 2 stars on him. I agree with that. And, I mean, with Mason Rudolph, it's it's like what we saw with Flacco, now he finds downs and whatever. It's with Levi, he's too busy fumbling the ball and throwing interceptions, he can't find Ridley anywhere.
That's right.
But Mason Rudolph knew that Ridley was on the team. And
that's right.
And found him quite a bit.
Newsflash. Yeah. Right.
Look, it's hard.
And D-Hop is gone. You know what I mean? Like we just talked about, the vacated targets in in Cleveland. Well, here we go. We got
lot,
right. Yeah. So Diop is a Chief now, And so Calvin Ridley's going to step up as the main man in Tennessee. And Mason Rudolph, if they're smart, they'll stick with Rudolph. They won't go back to that washed-up pair of Levi's. I mean, he's terrible. Come on now.
Agreed.
Yep. All right, who you got, brother? Who you got next?
Right on, man. Well, I think we've been waiting for this one to come on a little strong. He's a rookie, Keon Coleman. I've got 20 stars on him. 57% owned. I think most of that 57% were those people that drafted him and, just had some high hopes and they hung on. Well, he's finally starting to get it. And finally starting to get Josh Allen's attention. 5 for 7, 70 yards. Last week I think he went off even more and had a study or two. I could have put Pulisic on here. We've talked about him enough. I think Keon Coleman's starting to really kind of pick it up number 0 for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, totally agree. And I do think the addition of Amari Cooper to the Bills has drawn some coverage his way, right? So Amari Cooper did not have a good day. He didn't have a good game, this past yesterday. And so I think that he's drawing coverage his way, because of his name and his ability. And so that opens up targets, that opens up opportunities for guys like Keon Coleman and Shakira. So, looking good. I like it, brother.
Yep.
I like it. All right, well, I'm going to round this out with somebody I know that you've been down with, Josh Downs.
I resisted putting his name on the list, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, brother, I know you're down with Downs, and there's nothing wrong with being down with Downs. 47% owned. He saw 9 targets yesterday, caught 4 of them for 109 yards and a touchdown. Plus, he contributed with 12 return yards, so it looks like he's returning punts and 13 rushing yards. So he's becoming kind of a jack of all trades, right? A jackknife guy, right? So he saw the ball in plenty of situations and opportunities, and so
That's 2 touchdowns, bro. That was bullshit.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was bullshit. He's got 2 touchdowns.
Agreed.
Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely robbed. Fuck the rest this year.
Yeah, totally, brother. Yeah, nobody pays, good money. Nobody goes to work all week and saves up money to bring their kids to see a game to watch the Zebras throw flags. That's not what we're there. You know what I mean? The Zebras, you're not the star of this show. You're not. Nobody pays to come and watch you throw flags, okay?
Yeah.
You're not the star. These guys out there earning the $1 million paychecks, that's who we came to see. Okay?
Right.
So let them
when
play
you go
football.
For a ball
Come
like
on now.
You pull it down.
Yeah.
You land on the goal line. It's a touchdown.
Right. Totally, bro. I agree. Agreed.
But, yeah, I love that Richardson again recognized that Downs is actually on his team, man.
I know, right?
They got the same color jersey, man. It's amazing. So he found him. It doesn't take Flacco to make Josh Downs valuable. So
that's right. 3 stars. 3 stars on Josh Downs.
Yeah.
We're down with Downs. I mean, I think at this point, we've been talking about him all last year. I may just grab him on one of my teams. I'm playing 5 freaking leagues. Why don't I have Downs on at least one of them?
I got him on one of mine.
I'm going to go looking for him.
Yeah, I had that 25 points sitting on my bench, man.
Yeah, he's 47% owned, so he's got to be out there in 53% of the league. I'm going to go looking for Josh Downs. I'm going to cut my weakest receiver. I don't care. One of my 5 leagues, I'm going to grab Downs. That's my commitment to you, Craig. But
there we go.
Week,
Let's go.
I'm down with Downs. I'm finally done with it. I'm down.
Get down with Downs. Love it.
Yes, sir. Yep. All right, let's move on to tight ends, my brother. So it looks like there's one we both agree with. Hit me up with the guy we both like.
Yeah, so we both brought the tight end to the table. I've got Zach Ertz, and here's the deal. Friday or Sunday, was tight ends day.
That's right. Yeah.
They went off. It was,
it's true. Yeah. Imagine that. It's not like they scripted it. I'm not saying the NFL scripted, but if it was, that was quite a coincidence, wasn't it? Yeah. I know, right?
It's impossible. But Zach Ertz, he's kind of been low and consistent. That 10, 12, 15 points, maybe not even 15, but he'll get to there. He'll do something rather than goose egg you. So I've got 2 stars on him. He's 52% on. He went 7 for 77, 16 targets in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. He's looking
double
good.
digits in the last 3 weeks. He's got Giants next, who just gave up a shit ton of yards to Steelers tight ends. So, I think he's kind of coming back. He's on a team that's passing the ball well. That Washington offense is rolling.
They're on fire.
He's
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like they have so many mouths to feed, and they do spread the ball around really well. Even Noah Brown caught a Hail Mary catch, in the end zone. Just, hey, here I am. Caught the ball, and I mean, yeah, they are an exciting team. It's good for the NFL to see the Washington Redskins, I guess Commanders, whatever you want to call themselves now. But yeah, it's fantastic, man. You can't help but root for that team if you are a fan of the NFL, because they've been a downtrodden team ever since Kirk Cousins left, and it's just been a shit show disaster ever since. And here they are. You can't help but root for them. Yeah. So.
As a Jerry Hayton Cowboys fan.
Yeah, exactly.
I am on board with what's going on in Washington right now.
Me too, my man. Me too. Yeah, it's their time to shine. I guess what did I say to you, Craig? Sun even shines on a dog's ass every now and then.
That's right.
Well, if the sun's shining on the Washington dog's ass, so I'm all for it.
They had a chance to rename the team, that should have been their name.
That's it.
Yeah.
Washington dog asses.
They don't have Commanders. Should have gone with dog ass.
Yeah, exactly. They could be go worse. All right, so last tight end we got, my brother. I brought him up with our guest host last week. Actually, I think he brought him to the table, but I listened to him. His name's Cade Otton. I picked him up. I picked him up in our League of Champions because I had Fitzgerald for the Cowboys. I'm not saying Fitz is a bad guy. Don't get me wrong, but this guy looked better. Cade Otton. So I thought it was a sexy tight end. That's going to kick some ass this week, and that's what I did, man. I went big. And I went ahead and I burned a waiver wire pick because I don't give a shit about my waiver wire picks anymore. I'm just going to burn right through them. I don't care. I'm here for players. I want results. And so I picked him up. I burned a waiver wire pick. I got Cade Otton. He was waiting in my Easter basket when I woke up on Wednesday morning, and I was happy. And I popped him in my lineup. I got 4 stars on Cade Otton because that's how much I believe in this guy. 63% owned. He caught 9 out of 10 grabs for 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boom. Yeah. So he is my second pick for waiver wire winners. I picked him up off the waiver wire, and I played him over Fitzgerald. Yeah.
I played him in daily. Didn't have a shot. Matter of fact, I think I put him on one of my squads and then dropped him. But again, now that Godwin's hurt, Evans is out, man.
Yeah.
Baker's chunking his Easter basket.
Oh yeah.
In the end zone.
Damn right.
Yeah, like that last touchdown was just like, hey, dude, there's no way you can drop this ball because I'm throwing it to nuts, and you're gonna.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Catch it, or you're gonna be hurting.
Exactly. So, yeah, but I agree, man. I honestly see a couple strong games until Evans gets back. He's gonna be up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So yeah, he's like the I don't know, what was that guy who played for the Raiders for a while? I don't know, like the main guy, that main tight end they used to throw to all the time. I don't know. I forget the guy's name, but I think he ended up with the Giants for a while. I don't even know the guy's name, but I remember Chuck had him in one league and played against me in the playoffs with the guy. But I don't know. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that situation where the tight end is. Yeah, where you're running your offense through the tight end. So, I don't know. But anyway, all right, let's move on to defenses to stream. I brought 2 guys to the table, and I know you've got 2 kickers to talk about. So let me just bounce through these defensive streamers. So if you can, pick up the Bengals. They got the Raiders coming up. We already talked about the Raiders, a good team to prey upon, Eagles, they got the Jags coming up.
Love it.
The Jags have been, the Jags have been kind of easy to beat up on. So
go grab out. Brian Thomas might be out.
Yeah.
That's a beat up team, man. That's
for sure. Yeah. So exactly, and they suck. Yeah. So go grab the Bengals. Go grab the Eagles. What kickers we like this week?
Yeah. So man, I made a bad call. Like every now and then, Charlie Brown. But thought Myers was going to have a better game. I saw that game going differently for the Seattle Seahawks, and I picked up Myers in a couple leagues. I just saw that game going differently. I thought they could drive the ball, but get stopped. And he's been doing pretty good. He sucked. Brandon McManus, on the other hand, was the guy I was looking at that I chose Myers over, and he went off. He was 2 games in a row. He's been the game winner. They've got Detroit coming up. Jordan Love is iffy, but man, this Willis who's been playing on it too. So I see this game kind of a little bit back and forth, and I think McManus puts up a good 15 points next week.
And he plays for Detroit?
No, he plays for Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay. Okay, got it. Yeah. He's been solid. Yeah, I remember them talking about him on Red Zone yesterday. Yeah, they've been talking about how good he's been because I think he plays for Green Bay, and I know that he won the past 2 games on field goals. At the last second field goals. So he's been money. Yeah, I like it, brother.
Yeah, he's been solid.
McManus, Green Bay.
Got another one for you, man. Chad Ryland hasn't really been on my radar too much. Arizona's kicker. He's been decent. They got Chicago coming up. Chicago's been low scoring games. You feel like Arizona can move the ball. They've got weapons. They can get down there. But Chicago's people down at the goal line.
True.
And within that red zone. So I guess Chad Ryland putting up a strong week this week.
Okay, for Arizona. All right, I like it. Plus, they play in a dome, so if they happen, if you grab that guy, and it's always good to have these dome kickers. Always a plus. So,
good
call. Yeah, for sure. The Cardinals can move the ball. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, and so the 2 I brought to the table, Chris Boswell. He's a boss. He kicks well. Fantastic. Plays for the Steelers.
Yeah, you got 55% owned. Like, how are people not onto this? He's not on any of my leagues.
Dude, right, I know. Yeah, on the Yahoo side, he's 55% owned.
What league is he playing in that people don't own this guy? He's killing it.
I don't know. Yeah, he's killing it. You're right, man. And he's let's see, he's scored double-digit fantasy points in I don't know how many. Anyway, 4 out of 8 games. So half the time he's scoring 10 or more. So far this season, and I think that even one of those games, Craig, he scored 20 plus. I think one time I know I had Boswell and he scored me like 25 points from a kick.
Yep.
Come on. Yeah, you're right. How are people not on this? Because I think people get lazy. They get themselves a quality kicker, or at least they think it's quality kicker. Like somebody like Butt Kicker or Tucker, and they're just like, all right, set it and forget it. You know what I mean?
This year too.
Yeah. Well, he started off that way, but lately, because I talked about it with Marcus last week, he has been hitting 13 a week for like 2 or 3 weeks straight. So yes, you're right. He started off shitty, but he's been actually righting the ship lately. But yeah, you're right. I was ready to throw in the towel on Tucker, and I decided to give him one more chance, and he's give me like that 13 plus. And I'll be like, all right, Tucker, you're good. You're good. Yeah, totally. All right, and last guy is we were talking about red hot Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
Austin Seibert, man, he's fantastic too. 43% owned, double digit in 6 out of 8 games, and in one of those 8, it looks like there were 0 points. I don't even think he played that game or something like that. I think maybe like he wasn't even on the team till week 2. But if you give him a pass for week 1, double digit in 7 out of 8 games, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah. When you get an offense that's just flowing like that, like the Chiefs were in the past when you used to just put buckets in and sit there.
Yeah.
So it's a solid one.
Yep. All right, my brother. Well, that's it, man. I think we went a little bit over 30 minutes, so let's call it a wrap. And do we have is it a Germany game this coming Sunday morning?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I can't remember if it's this coming Sunday or the following Sunday, but there is a Germany game coming up. We'll have to check the schedules, but we'll definitely be watching football this coming Thursday night, and then all day Sunday, and then Monday night. We'll be back at you next Monday night. Trust me, bro.
That's right. Good luck on that waiver wire, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you next week.
All right. Peace.